So we talked about what privacy impact assessment is. We talked about the objectives. And in this video, we are going to talk about what could be the various factors in a business that trigger to do a privacy impact assessment. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy. And as I said, we are going to talk about the trigger points in a business that provide the need to do a privacy impact assessment immediately. Let's first spend a minute on what privacy impact assessment is. It's a way that you analyze your projects. It's done on each and every data processing activity that you do within your organization. You analyze them to find out, are they processing personal data? What is the flow of the data? Is there any risk of breach? Is there any risk of misuse? How do you mitigate them? How do you close them before a breach actually happens? If still it becomes unavoidable, maybe you can keep a mitigation plan that helps reduce the impact of the breach, minimize the impact of the breach. It also helps you measure your compliance level with the laws and regulations of your own country or any country that you are in. You may be in multiple countries following different regulations, and PIA would help you find out, are you really compliant with the law of that land? It helps you adopt standards and improvise on your internal policies and procedures. Now let's look at the trigger points. One important thing is, every time you start a new processing activity, create a new process, you should do a privacy impact assessment. And processing, by the way, by Indian DPDP Act, collecting, storing, using, sharing with third parties, or deleting personal data of any citizen of India is processing, and therefore you are supposed to be compliant with data privacy norms. Now, what are the extra business trigger points that can lead you to decide to reinitiate or trigger a PIA in your organization? You are re-identifying the information. You are digitizing from paper. You are moving it to online databases. Maybe you are converting your letters into Word files, documents, spreadsheets, right? So you are digitizing, you are re-identifying the kind of information you are having. There could be a risk associated. You are not going to digitize one or two records. It would be a volume. What are the kind of people involved in it? What is the kind of storage we are storing it, right? So they are important factors. You are merging, matching, manipulating multiple databases. You know, organizations can merge. You know, consolidation project can come in where you are consolidating multiple different smaller projects into one larger one. Merging, matching, and manipulating multiple DBs is a very important thing that you have to do, or may be required to do from time to time. And whenever you have to do that, not only analyze the project as a project, just relocate it from privacy design point of view also. Databases do have personal data. Eventually the database would have personal data, right? It would have the name and the phone number or some other information related to a human being, right? So you need to analyze it from that angle also, apart from what traditionally you have been doing it. If you are asking for a new feature, for example, you are introducing a user authentication system in one of your applications which is already in public. Maybe you are introducing multi-factor authentication, right? So you should be prepared that, again, you have to analyze that there is no possibility of breach or any risk that you are taking with respect to breach. You are adopting new technologies and applications. PIA is required. First of all, the most important thing, where is that application hosted? Is it for Indian users but hosted in US? I had a requirement where my customer had wanted to take backups across the world. So what did we do? We started using cloud service providers in the respective geographies. So the Australian offices got backed up in a Sydney data center, and the European ones got spread over into Frankfurt and Ireland. And the Indians were in India, in Mumbai, right? So even if you are adopting a new technology which uses a cloud service, how does it matter? It does. You have to do a privacy assessment, and in this case, you will also have to do a transfer impact assessment if your destination is located in a different country. We'll come to that in a few videos. We are going to discuss the details of TIA or transfer impact assessment also. You are retiring your old system that many people say, and when I used to teach storage 15 years back, SNIA course, I remember we talked about a fraud where millions of credit card details got lost from a dumped storage. The the so-called fiduciary now, and at that time just a finance organization, dumped a old storage, thought they formatted the disks, but the hackers who bought that storage from the garbage people, they were able to extract data out of it. So you have to do privacy impact assessment because you need to degauss the disks just to make sure that the data is not readable under any circumstances. Other trigger points include you are adding new personal information to a database. There is a change in any data related business process. So any change in your database structure, any change in your processing of information, you need to recheck whether you want to be careful about it or not. There is an altercation of the character of your personal information, right? And you are involving a third party service provider. A new service provider has come in. Again, like I said about transfer impact assessment also. Where is the service provider? How is he handling personal data? Right? Of his own employees, of you, of whatever he collects on your behalf. You should do a PIA of that. You are migrating to new service providers. You are changing your service providers. What are the basic questions that should be addressed? What kind of data is being collected, processed and stored? Who has access to this data? What level of people, role-based access in that service provider, that cloud provider are there? Are there any potential privacy risks? If yes, how are we mitigating them? How are we minimizing the risk of breach itself? That's the end goal of doing the privacy impact assessment and mapping it with the legal requirement of the respective geography. So that's about trigger points and the kind of questions that you should ask when you are doing a privacy impact assessment for your organization. I hope you like the content of the video. Please press the bell and the like icon. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already done that, and share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.